Hey, welcome to Bikes, Boats, and Bivouacs. We're on a motorcycle ride to the covered bridge just outside of Oley, Pennsylvania. As you can see, Maria's gotten really comfortable riding the Harley Davidson 1200 Sportster Low. And of course, I'm still on my switchback. And for today's ride, we decided to ride down to the covered bridge in Oley. Technically, it's just past Loboxville in Pleasantville. So it's about halfway between the town of Boyertown, Pennsylvania and Oley, Pennsylvania. So we're going to go up to the intersection and then we're going to cross over onto Loboxville Road, and that's going to take us on a really scenic ride, and I'll point out a couple of really interesting properties as we continue the ride. Good? I believe there's 5 covered bridges in Berks County, and throughout the summer we'll be taking rides to those various bridges. But the one that we're going to today, it is on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places, and this particular bridge was built in, it was started in 1852 and completed in 1856. The reason it took so long is at that time there was a wood shortage. So it was built in 2 stages after a great flood that occurred in 1850. Now this bridge that we're going to take you to is 126 feet long. It is a bird truss bridge, and you'll see that truss system when we go through the bridge. And it's just really beautiful. It was restored by a group, and they did a really nice job, and it occasionally gets knocked apart because folks don't realize how tall their vehicles are. So now they have a 10-foot 5-inch clearance rack ahead of the bridge to try to prevent the bridge from being damaged. So it's a nice bridge. It's right by the Bridge Inn, which is a hotel on Route 73. Like I said, it was halfway between Oley and Boyertown. So I think you'll enjoy taking a look at this. It is a very pleasant ride. This road that we're on right now is Loboxville Road. This goes through the village of Lobach, though it's just like an intersection, and then continues on over to Pleasantville. But what you'll notice on this road are some beautiful stone homes, and I do tend to take a look at them. And we're also going to pass a church up on a hill that looks like it's been really well maintained. So I hope you enjoy this ride. This part of the road you can see is kind of tree lined, and there were some smaller stone homes on the left and the right that you have seen. But once we get down around the corner, you'll see a really nice home here on the left that's really well maintained, and it's just a beautiful property. Here it is. It does have a pond in addition to the house, just past the driveway there. And then on the right hand side down here, there's actually a brick farmhouse that looks, like it's been really well kept. And then further down on the left, you'll see another stone home that is meticulously maintained. So there's a number of stone homes in this area. There's a German ancestry in the area. So a lot of the homes were constructed with materials that were available, and that meant quite a bit of stone was available. Here's another one of those homes that's well maintained on the left-hand side. And then just past it on the right, we'll see that brick home right there. And now we are in the thriving metropolis of Loboxville. Good? Now the creek that the bridge we're going to straddles is the Manatawny Creek, and you can fish in that creek, and there are some occasional floods, but nothing like we've seen recently down south. But of course you need a bridge to get over it. And we're coming up on St. Paul's Loboxville Church on the right hand side, and you can see, I mentioned this church earlier, how well maintained this building is, and of course the St. Paul Cemetery is right next to it. Another interesting piece of information as we make this left-hand turn up here, this stone farmhouse on the left-hand side, Maria and I looked at purchasing that back in around 1988 or 89 when it went up for sale. But we had just built the house we still live in, so we didn't want to turn around and try to sell that and then get into that farmhouse. It needed a lot of work when it was for sale. But we always mention it, when we ride out this way, we always point to that house and wonder what it would have been had we found that for sale before we built the house that we currently live in. to the next intersection, we're going to be making a left. We won't have a stop sign, we'll just continue our left-hand turn. But on the right-hand side, you're going to see the Oley feed mill. The one nice thing about this area is we still have small local stores that we can go to. We don't always have to head to big box stores. And this particular place has feed for animals. It also has, dog food and some other supplies in there. But it's, for me, it's nice to see kind of the old country stores survive in this area. Series of turns here, a right and a left hand turn, and then we'll be coming up on the intersection on Route 73, and we're going to cross that intersection to get to the covered bridge that we've been talking about. But as we go through that intersection, if you look to the left, you're going to see the Bridge Inn, and that inn is owned by country musician Pat Garrett. So some of you younger folks may not know who Pat Garrett is, but he was a country star a number of years ago, and he still lives in the area. And this is one of the businesses that he runs. He has several businesses that he runs, and this is one of them. So we're happy to see him keep that place operating. Okay, we made it to the covered bridge halfway between Boyertown and Oley and Boxville. So let's check it out. So this was the toll house keeper's house at one point. You can also notice that there's a height restriction of 10 feet 5 inches on the bridge. And it is one way, so cars have to stop. This bridge has been refurbished by a local community group. And you can see it is an old wooden covered bridge. And the reason they're covered is to keep the wood from rotting. Also to provide some protection. Which you can see, this is in really good shape. And here it was, 1859. Of the walls covering the stream. And here is the bridge. So we'll take a ride through it. We just got back from that ride down through Ville across the covered bridge. What did you think of that ride, Marie?
It was really awesome. I love the shaded areas and the smells along the way.
You know, one thing about the area, there's Harley. One thing about the area we live in, it's really fun on a motorcycle. Hey Marie, what could they do if they want to help us out?
You could subscribe.
It's free, it helps us out a lot. What else could they do?
You could ring the bell.
Then you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. And finally, the last thing they could do to help?
Of course, give us a thumbs up.
That helps too. But more important than all that, go have some fun out there. Thanks for watching.